Hello, I'm Carol Hilty, Superintendent of the Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind, CSDB. Welcome. I'm happy that you have decided to watch this program. I hope that you enjoy it. We welcome your feedback.
Learning from adult role models who are blind or low vision, presented by Outreach Programs, the Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind. The CSDB logo is displayed with the tagline, Learning, Thriving, Leading. Our presenter, Brian, is sitting in front of a brick wall in the CSDB library. Captions are below on screen. Title, Brian.
Hi, my name is Brian Smith, and I became legally blind at the age of 9. I had an accident in my right eye. I poked a thing in it, like a screwdriver-like device, and wasn't good. They were fortunately able to save my eye, and then after that, my eye healed up. I saved about 2,200 out of it. Then they started doing, the testing and discovered that I have a juvenile form of macular degeneration called Stargardt's. I'm a Stargardter. And probably started having vision problems even earlier than 9, probably at 7 or 8, but it wasn't diagnosed back then. I also have a brother that has Stargardt's. So there's 2 of us. And basically, I don't see centrally. I see out the sides, so it's like a black spot out in front of me. And, you work around it. My vision is fairly stable, although it has decreased some with my age. It's been a way of life. It's my friend. It's my enemy. What can I say? I try to keep it more my friend. It is who I am.
Title, Parental Involvement.
My parents, when I was young, they were really good to support me, but they didn't give us breaks. They gave us a different way of doing it, but they expected us to do it. And I think that's a really good message. I think a parent, that's a tough position to be in because you're there as love and support and encouragement, but then you're also there to not shelter them, to be tough love sometimes. And I think sometimes the worst thing you can do is shelter the child. You have to equip somebody to that day when they go out and become an adult. So my parents were really good about that when they were younger. It's funny, as they got older, then they started saying, well, son, you can't sweep the floor, let me do that. And, well, by then it was too late. And I said, Dad, I can sweep the floor,
Title, Education.
I went to high school here in Colorado Springs, to Coronado High School. I had the opportunity to go here to the deaf and blind school, but chose not. We were mainstreamed, my brother and I, and then another gentleman was at our school. We worked with Ann Hicks, who was my hero, my itinerary teacher. Itinerary teachers, I can't say enough about how big of a help they are. They're there to show you some different things, different ways of doing it, show you new different technologies. I think it's really important that the teachers show that. They're there also to be of support. They're there to be of patience, encouragement. They're also an advocate, and I really want to talk about that. I think it's critical that both teachers and parents advocate for their children, but then I also think it's critical that when you reach older as an individual, you have to start advocating for yourself. And I think that's a really good message that the teachers and the parents need to say, well, you're going to have to do this down the road. I never will forget, I went into college and I had been going to a bunch of classes, and with this one professor, and I said, sir, well, when it comes time to take a test, I take the test up in the library at the CCTV because we had only one. He said, well, that ain't going to happen. And I said, we waived the time because I couldn't deal with the time limit. I said, what do you mean that ain't going to happen? He said, well, I can't allow that. I said, well, you'll be hearing from my counselor. Next day, Mr. Smith, no problem. You can take the test out of the classroom and up to the CCTV, and we'll waive the time.
Title: Career.
I own Magnesite. We are a manufacturer of CCTVs, or electronic magnification systems. I started my company in 1990. At one time, I had about 30 people working for me. I had a 7,000 square foot building. We sell products throughout the United States. Well, maybe some of you have heard of the Magnesite name. It's well known. I think I have some right here at the Deaf and Blind School. Sell them throughout the world. Also, I had for many, many years the National VA contract, which was a huge honor to be of service to our veterans. And I think for me, the part I love is the selling side of Magnesite. I really enjoy working with the people, the end users. I like to go to the shows. I like to be involved because I am an end user.
Title: Assistive Devices.
As far as working with blindness, as far as what kind of material I like to access, typically I like to access it in an electronic version, be it on a computer, using some enlarging programs. I like to use Zoom Text as one. There's some other ones out there. Also OCR, doing more and more with OCR, where OCR is basically where you put your document in, it scans it, it reads it for you. Or I do enlargement through Zoom Text. I do work with print, and that's where I use the CCTV, or closed circuit television, or also called a electronic magnification system. And you put your material on there and it blows it up on the screen. I use that to read. I also use that to write. I like a traditional CCTV because I can look at anything and everything, pill bottles to splinters in my kids' hands, And some of the other devices I use is, I'll use the cane some in the airport. I like to use a cane for recognition. I do feel like I'm probably moving more and more toward a cane, for also safety. I use talking products, clocks, calculators, magnifiers. I use a little electronic CCTV or electronic video device called a lookie. So it's a variety of things. One of the points I want to make there is I really encourage somebody to be very open-minded and try different devices. Matter of fact, I have a saying: if you need to stand on your head to see, stand on your head and see. Whatever works for you may not work for the next person. And, that might be, for one person, it might be print. The next person will be Braille. I did learn Braille when I was in high school, but I didn't keep up with it, so I just kind of know the basics. But yeah, use voice techniques, try different techniques. I just really encourage someone to be open, try different things. Blindness, I like to say, it's not a convenient thing. It's a pain, to be honest with you. And, you'll never replace the human eye. But these devices help to make it better. And the joke always is there's a briefcase or suitcase of devices to create what the human eye does. I mean, you need something for distance, you need something for up close, you need something that's manual, you need something that's electronic, you need something for a computer. So usually a low vision person will have 15, 20 different items that they have to use to create the human eyeball. But do that, use whatever it takes to see.
Title: Advice. Attitude
Attitude is so important. I mean, you need to really try to stay positive as much as possible. We all have our hard moments. We have our hard days. We have our, hard day, hard week, hard month, but you can't stay there. If you're angry and in denial, after a while, nobody really want to be with you. So somehow you have to get a hold of your disability. You have to accept it. When I was young, I denied my blindness, like every young person does. I just wanted to be sighted. And, it wasn't until I got into my 20s that I started to accept my blindness, and that's who I am. It's really important for me as Brian Smith to say, blindness is who I am. I can't really separate it. So for me, it's important to, I can't deny my blindness, and a lot of times I see people in the anger, the depression, or the acceptance stage, and you got to go through those stages. But you have to somehow get out on the other side and be positive and be a role model. And I think what I really would challenge is give back, I did magnesite. I do magnesite. Yeah, I need to make money, or I won't help the blind to see. But to give someone else the gift of sight and not having vision yourself and not being able to see, that makes it worth it for me right there, to help other people to see. And so I do challenge people that, you help others out. Someone newly coming into, I see it all the time, they get macular degeneration, they've been sighted all their lives, and they're depressed, they're lost. And one of the things I really always encourage anybody and everybody is, hang out with get involved in a group, have some friends that are visually impaired or blind. Okay, because I think I said it earlier, it's like living in a sea of sighted people, and it's really good to have a friend that struggles with the same thing you do. You don't feel so alone. And what really happens in that is you start to teach each other things. Well, I use this device, or this is how I deal with this in dating, and this is how I deal with this in transportation. Well, how do you deal with that? I mean, for somebody that's newly lost their vision, I can't say enough that they should really get plugged in with some other people, especially people that have had it a while, that have overcome it, that have become successful, in dealing with their blindness. So I really encourage that, to really reach out and to have some fellow friends and to give back, when you get to the point where you can help the community and help the blindness community. I mean, in the end, isn't that where it kind of ends up? For most of our lives we're receiving, but hopefully we get to the day where we can give back. And then finally, I would say also that, don't give up on your dreams. I think that's something that's really important for parents and teachers. They do a great job of that, to say the sky's the limit. I would have never dreamed that I would have had a multi-million-dollar company, that I would have had all kinds of people working for me. But I kept pursuing my dream of saying I want to own my own business, and it only got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think when I was in school, I think one of the hardest things I struggled with in school is, what do I become? Pursue your dreams. Stay positive, give back, get involved with other folks, and I think if you can do that, and maybe and to a degree, come to peace with your vision loss, your blindness, whatever your disability is, and that's the tough one. I mean, I have a saying too that and that goes back to parents and teachers and an individual, is you have to know when to respect your disability and not do something, which I tend to want to do it. And then you also need to know when you need to push through it and do it when you don't want to do it as well. So on that note, I appreciate the opportunity to talk, and good luck in life. Thank you.
Learning from adult role models who are blind or low vision has been a production of the Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind, 33 North Institute Street, Colorado Springs, Colorado, 80903, 719-578-2100, www.csdb.org. Videography by Deb Branch and Sean Levier. Copyright 2014.
Grandpa. Grandpa. Grandpa.
Grandma. 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 Next week, we're going to Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Okay. Will Grandma bake a pumpkin pie?
Yes.
I will watch football with Grandpa. 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 Grandpa.
Grandma. Grandma. Grandma.
A man is using a slate and stylus, a braille writer, a refresher braille, and types on a laptop.
Technology and People Who Are Blind or Low Vision with George Mcdermott. Screen Readers Part 3.
I'm now going to show you how to enter text into a program using JAWS. I'm going to do all of this navigation using quick keys and hotkey commands. So I'll start again by using Control Escape to open the Start menu.
Control Escape, Start menu, 1 of 8. To navigate, press up or down arrow. I, Internet, 1 of 8. I.
I'll then use the P key to skip to the Programs.
P, All Programs, sub-menu, P.
I'll hit the Enter key to open it.
Enter, Microsoft Update, N.
I'm going to hit A to go to Accessories.
A, Accessories, sub-menu, A.
Open it using the Enter key.
Enter, Accessibility, sub-menu, A.
And then I'm going to hit N to go to Notepad.
N, leaving menus, Untitled-Notepad, edit, type in text.
Now you'll notice that since the only thing in that list with an N was Notepad, when I hit N it automatically opened the program for me. And so here we are in a new Notepad document, and I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit of what feedback JAWS gives you while you're typing and demonstrate how text entry works.
Tab. T-E. Space R-A-I-N space I-N space S-P-A-I-N space A-L-L-S space A-I-N-L Watts O-N space A-E space P-A-I-N period.
So it read me back letter by letter what was going on, and then I can read the entire document by using the modifier key, or the caps lock key in this case, and pressing down arrow.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
And so it read the entire thing to me. You can type a lot more quickly than I'm doing, and JAWS will speak at a much greater rate for those who are proficient in its use. But this just demonstrates how you can go through and edit. So let's say I don't wish to use Spain, but wish to use another country. In order to go back word by word, I can simply hold down the Control key and hit the left or right arrow to proceed or go back word by word. So I'll go ahead and do that now.
Plain period, on, mainly, falls, Spain.
And so I can then go to the end of the word. I can either select the entire word by holding down the Control and Shift keys and typing the right arrow key and then tap Delete. Or I can go character by simply using the left and right arrow keys and then use the backspace key. So I'll go ahead and do the latter.
P-A-I-N space.
And then use the backspace key.
N-I-A-P-S.
And type in something else, let's say Boston.
B. Caps lock off. B. B-O-S-T-O-N.
I can then check to see about my spacing by using the left and right arrow keys.
N. Space. F.
So I know that that is properly spaced. And I can then skip to the end of the line or the end of the document simply by doing Control End. Or I can again go via word by word.
Mainly on the blank, period, blank.
So I'll then
Enter.
type a few
Tab.
more lines.
TASS space DERTIOF space O space JASS space DAESTYPEXT space NOTE space period.
I can then go to the top of the document
Blank
and then read the entire thing.
blank. This is a demonstration of how JAWS works while typing in text in Notepad.
You notice there's a misspelling there. If this were a program that was equipped with a spell checker, I could subsequently use that to check my work and make sure that everything was spelled properly before either turning into paper or sending off the email. And that's very helpful, particularly in this day and age.
A man is using a slate and stylus, a braille writer, a refresher braille, and types on a laptop.
Technology and people who are blind or low vision with George Mcdermott. Screen Readers Part 1.
Hi, I'm George Mcdermott. I'm an adaptive technology instructor here in the state of Colorado. And I'm speaking to you today about screen reading software, what it is, and how it works. Screen reading technology consists of a piece of software that is installed on the computer that allows you to have the text and information on your screen be converted to speech. And this is of the utmost importance for blind and visually impaired users, as it allows them to access everything on the computer, from Internet Explorer to Microsoft Office Suite, to anything that you could possibly want to do, from entertainment to work-related activities. There are a number of different screen readers that vary in price. Three of the primary screen readers that are used on a Windows system include Job Applications with Speech, or JAWS, which is made by Freedom Scientific, GW Micro's Window Eyes, and Serotex System Access. All three of these screen readers do basically the same thing, which is use a text-to-speech engine to convey information auditorily to the user. JAWS is perhaps the most well-known of the screen readers. It's very popular, particularly in employment situations. And JAWS is well known for interacting in a very smooth, efficient manner with the computer. It also has a relatively large footprint, and it is used also very widely on a personal level as well. It uses hotkey commands and scripting to allow one interaction with programs that perhaps aren't inherently usable by a person. So for example, if one wished to interact with a program at the office that's proprietary in nature and doesn't have inherent accessibility features, one could then write a script using this language with JAWS that would make it accessible for blind users. Window Eyes is made by GW Micro and is another option as a screen reader. It's very popular as a personal screen reading program, and it uses Eloquence as a text-to-speech voice engine, is well known also for interacting in a swift and smooth manner with one's computer, and also has a scripting language that allows you to interact with programs that aren't inherently accessible. Unlike JAWS, which uses a more proprietary scripting language, GW Micro has allowed Window Eyes to use more well-used computing languages, and so if you were to learn Visual C Basic for writing scripts with Windows, not only would you have that ability for scripting, but also you'd be able to use that subsequently in writing other programs that use Visual Basic C. Finally, there's System Access, which is a very affordable alternative. It is used with personal computers. You can also access it online. They have a version that you can use as an individual without charge for limited interaction with computers at freescreenreader.com. And it does not come with a scripting tool. All of the programming is written directly into the program, but it does provide access to a number of things that are also provided by JAWS and Windows, including email access, internet access, and access to the Office suite, amongst other programs. There is also on all Apple computers a built-in screen reader called VoiceOver that allows you to have it there for free. It's a very useful screen reader, and it can allow you to do pretty much everything that can be done on a Windows-based machine.
Technology and People Who Are Blind or Low Vision with George Mcdermott. Screen Readers. Part 1. Video production Deb Branch, Tara Lynn Gray. Consultation Jim Olson. Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind. Learning, Thriving, Leading. 33 North Institute Street, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80903. www.csdb.org.
A man is using a slate and stylus, a braille writer, a refresher braille, and types on a laptop.
Technology and People Who Are Blind or Low Vision with George Mcdermott. Screen Readers Part 2.
Press up or down arrow. I. Internet. 1 of 8. I. Enter.
I'm now going to demonstrate two of the screen readers, JAWS and Windows. I'm now going to use JAWS to access Microsoft Office Word. So I'll start by opening the Start menu with Control Escape.
Control Escape. Start menu. 1 of 8. To navigate, press up or down arrow. I. Internet. 1 of 8. I.
Now I could use the first letter to navigate directly, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the up and down arrow keys.
Email. 2 of 8. E. MSN. 3 of 8. M. Windows Media Player. 4 of 8.
I'm going to use JAWS to access Windows Media Player. So I'm going to go ahead and start by opening up the Start menu by using the hotkey command Control Escape.
Control Escape. Start menu. 1 of 8. To navigate, press up or down arrow. I. Internet. 1 of 8. I.
And I could navigate by simply hitting P to go to Programs, but I'm going to go ahead and start by using the up and down arrows. So I'm going to down arrow through this menu.
Email. 2 of 8. E. MSN. 3 of 8. M. Windows Media Player. 4 of 8. W. Windows Messenger. 5 of 8. W. Tour Windows XP. 6 of 8. T. Files and Settings Transfer Wizard. 7 of 8. F. JAWS 10.0. 8 of 8. J. All Programs submenu. P.
I'll hit the Enter key.
Enter. Microsoft Update. M.
Now you'll notice in the previous menu that we came across several items that had the same letter following it. In order to go to the, say, second or third item with the same letter, you'd simply continue to hit the key in question. So, for example, in this menu, I wish to reach Windows Media Player, which I know has a W as its hotkey, as its first letter in its name, so I'll start hitting the W key.
W. Windows Catalog. W. Windows Update. W. Windows Live submenu. W. Windows Media Player. W.
And I simply hit Enter to load it.
Enter. Leaving menus. Windows Media Player 9 Series dialog. Welcome to Windows Media Player 9 Series. Enjoy fast and flexible music and video play. Tab. Enter. Tab. More information about these.
In order to navigate the dialog box, you use the Tab and Shift-Tab keys. And if I wish to have the entire dialog box read to me, I could do so by using the modifier key, which is the caps lock key on a laptop, combined with the B key, and that would read the entire thing to me. However, I don't need to do so in this case, and so I'm just going to use the Tab key to reach the end of the dialog box and go from there.
App. Acquire licenses automatically for protected content. Checkbox checked. A clear checkmark. Press spacebar. Alt plus A.
And so you can interact with all of the elements in a dialog box through a variety of means. In this case, with checkboxes, if you wish to uncheck it, you can simply hit the space bar.
Space not checked.
And then if you wish to recheck it,
Space checked.
and continue that way.
Tab. Set unique player ID to content provider. Tab. Cookies button. Tab. I want to help make Microsoft. Tab. Save file and URL. Hit tab. Privacy statement button. Tab. Privacy statement button. Tab. Less back button. Tab. Next creator button. To activate, press spacebar. Alt space. Finish button to active space. Windows Media Player. Default view. Windows Media Player.
And we're now in Windows Media Player proper. We can again navigate via the use of the Tab and Shift Tab key commands.
Tab. Shift Tab.
And we can also use the Alt key to go up to the menu bar.
Menu bar. File to navigate. Press left or right arrow F.
So we can now skim along the menu bar and see what we have here. Normally in most Windows programs it's the same, and you can use, again, hotkey commands to get to various things as quickly as you wish. So for example, if I knew I wanted something from the Files menu, as opposed to hitting the Alt key and then using the arrow keys to navigate, I could simply use the Alt F command.
Alt F menu, file menu, open ... Control plus O to navigate, press up or down arrow O.
And so now we can go through the file commands.
Open URL ... Control plus U. Close Control plus W and available. Add new playlist ... Edit current playlist ... Control plus DE.
And we can navigate from menu to menu now simply by using the left and right arrow keys.
Menu bar, view to navigate, press left or right arrow V. Menu, view menu, full mode Control plus 1 checked to navigate, press up or down arrow F.
And you'll notice that it read to us what the new menu was, and then it opened it automatically and again to read us the first item in the menu. And so through this means you can operate any program from Office to Internet Explorer and everything in between.
Technology and People Who Are Blind or Low Vision with George Mcdermott.
Screen Readers Part 2.
Video production Deb Branch, Tara-Lynn Gray. Consultation Jim Olson. Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind. Learning, Thriving, Leading. 33 North Institute Street, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80903. www.csdb.org.
Grandpa. Grandpa. Grandpa.
Grandma. 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 Next week, we're going to Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Okay. Will Grandma bake a pumpkin pie?
Yes.
I will watch football with Grandpa. 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 Grandpa.
Grandma. Grandma. Grandma.